Okay, in Minneapolis, okay, there's been a little bit of covering of this story. Now, for all of the tethers or the, immigrants that like to talk noise and run their mouth, okay, this is just it's almost like, imagine somebody trying to, two fighters trying to fight. And have you ever just seen like a good boxing match? At least you thought it was going to be one. And a mofo winds up knocked out in like the first 30 seconds. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes something happens and it just so utterly exposes what the living hell you all are. And it exposes the truth about why people, see, that's why I don't just bitch about immigrants. I told everybody, you don't have to do nothing but just sit back and wait. And I promise you there's going to be something that happens. But here's the deal. What these immigrants are is that there's 48 of them they pretty much busted. Now, those 48 immigrants are the black heads and the black faces of this operation. If you think that a bunch of damn Somalis then got $250 to $300 million out of the United States by themselves, you are completely out of your cotton picking mind. Hell no. Not in a million years. Hell no. Get the fuck out of here. This is really just an operation under the guise of feeding and taking care of the poor, in which there are some white people, because I forgot the lady. I think her last name is Kosh or something like that. But there's a white lady. You can read into the article. I'll probably try to link you to it. You can find it yourself. There's a white lady, and she was the head, and I Googled this organization. It's kind of some, I don't know, feeding the poor. And what they were supposed to do is feed thousands of poor people in Minneapolis. And I think back in Somalia too. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are we responsible for people back in Somalia? But they were supposed to be feeding all these poor people. These mofos buying houses in Kenya and Turkey. Now, let me say this right here. I noticed that they pointed out the houses that the Somalis got in Kenya. And see, this is the thing that's crazy too. These mofos like to come over here and talk noise about us. Man, look here. Apparently Somalians don't like Somalia, because they spent tens of millions of dollars buying property in Kenya. Like, you're a Somalian. Like, shouldn't you be, it'll be different if they was using that to build up Somalia. But the only thing that happens up in that bitch is that the warlords get a hold of everything. But man, they running off, and I'm going to tell you what it is. It's some white folk. They the ones that probably got the majority of this money. And the only thing that happened was that there had to be some type of, because I noticed, and I wish I could think of her name. I'm so sorry for not reading over that article again before I did this video. But it was just some casual, ugly white female. And I bet you that there's a bunch of regular, everyday Minneapolis, Minnesota looking white women and men that are all up in this. And they are getting the slide right up out this bad boy. And they ain't gonna get nothing but some pats on the wrist. And I'm gonna tell you what happened. There had to be some type of little conflict that in some shape or way occurred. Because I do not believe that the U.S. government would disperse that much money in some direction and not have people looking over to see what's going on. No, somebody got pissed off. Somebody banged somebody's wife. Something happened somewhere that caused the conflict and caused the rift, and it caused the old whistleblower to pretty much just blow up out of the the situation, and go and expose what was going on. Or either they already knew what was going on, and maybe them liberal Minnesotans got just a little bit too friendly with the Somalis. Like, hey, if y'all wanted to build property in Turkey and build some underground houses and neighborhoods here in America, like the rich 1%, so that when we get the country nuked, we can go hide underground and come back out, and us and Putin shake hands, and we just let China and everybody else go ahead and have this country. And the trillions of dollars of debt that we will be probably having our heads chopped off over, because the population is going to get so mad. Well, we'll just fuck around with Russia until they nuke the living hell out of us, and we'll hide underground and come back out and, start all over. Now, if y'all were trying to do some smart stuff like build some underground houses so y'all could hide with us, but you mean to tell me you giving a nigger some money to go build some damn houses in Kenya? Get the fuck out of here. I bet you they gonna go to France, and I bet you that some of them Somalis, I'm gonna tell you what they did. I bet you they went to Kenya and built some houses and went to Europe, and one of them, and see, them Somalis be thinking about power. One of them probably stuck some dick in a special important European female, like some politician's daughter or something, and probably had her down there all up in the mansion, because you be seeing stuff nowadays like Nikki Haley, the former, I think she was governor of South Carolina. Her daughter is finna marry a black dude, big old black, tall. I'm talking about that Negro look like Skeletor. I'm talking about that nigga look like the black version of Arnold Schwarzenegger when he's the Terminator. You know the silver Terminator? Like the T-2000? That nigga look like the black version of that. So some of these politicians' daughters, they be buck ass wild and rebelling against the system. But yeah, the big thing that you see here, man, is that this is not being covered by the mainstream media too much. And just look at the trivial. Look at the trivial things that we hashtag and that we talk about that are totally and completely not important. While things like this, and, as far as the whole tethers, FBA, back and forth conflict, this shows you that ain't nobody got no raw, organic dislike for you just because you come from another country. You are given privileges and advantages, and just look at the stuff that I'm covering. Dude, we're having people in states build water parks so they can splash around in, while we're having water and resources taken away from us. So what the hell you think them people gonna say about anybody coming here and getting $300 million to go fuck some white women in goddamn their newly built houses in goddamn Kenya? Get the hell up out of here, man. I hope this helps you understand the often resentment against immigrants. And I'll say last and finally, this is not just them immigrants. This is white people, and there's an image that you can look up that has a whole bunch of the people, and it's 100% Somalis whose face they got all up in the camera. And I told you dummies that the very second that it's time for somebody, and I'm talking about them dumbass Somalians and them dumbass immigrants who sit up and be talking noise, that the very second that something go down, your black ass face is gonna be the fucking image of it. Told you. Plain and simple. I'm out.